So now we are going to look on to asexual reproduction in detail. So what is asexual reproduction? We have seen in the previous section. And now we have to look on to the modes of asexual reproduction that's shown by different organisms. We can classify them into fission, budding, spore formation, vegetative propagation, fragmentation, and regeneration. So first we can check what fission is. What is fission? Fission means cutting a thing into two halves. So we can say we have studied in amoeba like organisms, single cellular organisms. The parent body is cut into two and this splits it to give two daughter organisms. This cutting of organism or splitting of organism takes place by two processes, that is karyokinesis and cytokinesis. What are these two? Karyo means nucleus. So karyokinesis means cutting the nucleus first, followed by cytokinesis, that is splitting the cytoplasm. So here we can see that the parent organism is completely converted to daughter cells. So all or most of the unicellular organisms who are undergoing fission, this fission is a binary fission. Why binary? Means two organisms or two daughter cells are formed, and all organisms like unicellular organisms which are going for binary fission are said to be immortals. They don't have a death, natural death. Since the parent body is completely converted to daughter cells, there is no natural death for these organisms and are said to be immortals. Now let's check what budding is. We have seen in yeast like organisms where in the parent body a new cell arises from it, as in yeast, where a new cell arises from the parent body as a protuberance on the parent's body, and it will grow up to a certain age in the parent body itself and get detached to form a new cell. And this type of asexual reproduction is called as a binary, is called as a budding. So what happens in budding? The parent body goes for a protuberance and this body will be attached to the parent body and will detach later to form a new organism. Now looking for the spore formation. Spore formation. Here the organisms form spore, asexual spore, by mitotic division, and this will spread and produce the new organism. Spore formation can be again classified into zoospore formation or conidiospore formation. The spore can be either a zoospore or a conidiospore. There are other varieties of spores too, but we have to only study what a zoospore is, what a conidiospore is. In zoospore forming organisms, the spore that is produced from the parent body will be flagellated or will be motile. And in conidiospore, that spore that is produced will be attached to the parent body initially and will shed and form the new organism. Zoospores are normally formed by some small group of organisms like Chlamydomonas, Cladophora like algae, and Alkaima like fungus. And conidiospores are usually formed by penicillin. That is a fungus. So we have seen what a spore formation is. It is usually shown by organisms where they mitotically divide their cells, and these cells will spread and form a new cell or a new organism. And what about fragmentation and regeneration? Here are some organisms like planaria. The organisms can be split into small fragments, and each of these fragments can form a new planaria, a new organism. And this type of reproduction is called as asexual reproduction by fragmentation and regeneration. Now we have to look into vegetative propagation. We have heard what vegetative propagation is. Yeah, vegetative propagation is shown by plants, and it is with the help of their plant parts, except from sexually reproducing part, which is a sexually reproducing part of a plant. Usually it will be flowers. So we can say that except from the flowers, the rest of the plant part can be used for vegetative propagation, where the plant part can be used to form a new plant body. As we do in our garden, where we will cut the stem of a rose and we will plant it to produce a new rose plant. So we can see in details what a vegetative propagation is.